What's up guys, welcome back to Destiny Updates. We've got loads of information to cover, so I decided to split this into 3 videos to keep things clear. This one will cover gameplay mechanics, details on the multiplayer, what platforms it will release for, and the possible release date change. Be sure to stay tuned for parts 2 and 3 as well. Most of this comes from IGN with a few things from Eurogamer, sources are of course linked below. So with all that out of the way, let's get right into it. We'll start with some basic information of what Destiny is supposed to be. Destiny is described as an always-online, first-person shooter franchise. Bungie COO Pete Parsons confirmed it's a persistent, shared, and connected world, so you will always need to be connected to play it. Eurogamer also reports that Destiny has no offline mode. So does all that mean it is indeed an MMO? Well, sort of. The general consensus at the moment is that Destiny is a sci-fi FPS mixed with MMO elements, which Bungie is calling a shared world shooter. So with Halo, Bungie revolutionized first-person shooters on consoles. Now it seems like they're trying to do it again. Bungie co-founder Jason Jones said, "How can we take this genre that we love so much and turn it on its head?" Destiny's answer to that appears to be a kind of crazy mix of sci-fi, fantasy, first-person shooter, MMO, and RPG, which in my opinion sounds frickin' awesome. Now for me, Destiny being an MMO sounded great, but I was worried about the expensive monthly subscription fees that most MMOs have. Well, fortunately, Activision CEO Eric Hirshberg confirmed that Destiny will not have a monthly subscription fee. Seeing as that was probably my biggest concern for the game, that's really great news. Now moving on, Destiny is intended to be a cooperative experience. While it will be fully playable by yourself, and there's supposed to be plenty of fun to be had if you like playing solo, they definitely encourage cooperative play. Jason Jones said, "We built this game from the ground up to be social and cooperative." An example they gave was when 2 players were doing a mission, and a shootout started to get ugly. A random player just showed up and stepped in to save them. The 3 of them then ventured together as a group for a while before splitting off to go separate ways. This was the result of Bungie's new matchmaking system that seamlessly grouped the players together. They say this new system is invisible, as in it's totally automated and all happens behind the scenes so you never see it. Now that whole thing really reminds me of the game Journey, where random players will drop in and out seamlessly and automatically. Another thing that relates to the co-op and social aspects of the game is something called the Tower, a reinforced monolith that serves as your home. The Tower seems to be a sort of player hub where you'll find friends and strangers milling around. This tower is apparently a place where you can socialize, gear up, group together with other players, and even go into space. There's some more very exciting news on the topic of going to space, but that'll be in part 2. Also on the subject of multiplayer, there will be a fully featured competitive player versus player mode. However, nothing about it has been revealed other than the fact that it's optional, so you won't be forced to fight other players if you don't want to. I'm assuming this competitive mode is where the various factions you can join will come into play, but we'll just have to wait and see. Bungie aims to have emergent activity, where you get distracted from the thing you originally logged on to do. Furthermore, Jason Jones hopes that every time you sit down to play Destiny, you have a different experience than the last time. Now I'm assuming that all this means that when you set out to do a mission or a quest, whatever they end up calling them, you end up running into other things that you'll want to explore or investigate along the way. So that's pretty cool. It's also worth noting that the word raid was used to describe something at one point during the presentation. A raid is a MMO term for when a large group of players get together to defeat some kind of boss. So that may contribute to the idea that Destiny has strong MMO elements. It'll be really interesting to see how many players Destiny will be able to have in a given area. If it'll be some hundreds like a full-on MMO, or more like 16 to 30 like a standard FPS. Now another very interesting point is that Destiny will not have a main menu. The world is intended to live and keep going whether you're there or not. Everything will happen in this one essentially living universe, and when you log in you'll be put straight back into it. So that's definitely an MMORPG type of feature. Moving on, they also emphasize that Destiny seeks to appeal to everyone of all skill levels. Whether you're new to shooters or been playing for years, you'll still be able to enjoy it. Now it's also supposed to be accessible to those who don't want to spend huge amounts of time mastering the game. Jason Jones said, "They know that players don't want to work hard. They don't want to read, and they don't want to go on the internet to figure out our bullshit." By that I think he means that we want it to be easy to just get in and play, without having to go on wikis to learn how to do things, or spend absolute ages just to get anywhere. And personally I think that sounds great. MMOs often take far too long to accomplish anything or make it very difficult to learn things. Jones then added, "This has led us to a huge investment in the user interface." So there definitely is a lot to understand in this game, but they want a UI that makes it easy. Now the last thing that's sort of in this category is that Destiny is going to have a mobile app that can send you updates on new quests and show what your friends are up to. Bungie also teased that you'll somehow be able to affect your friends' games through the app, but didn't provide any other details. Moving on, The next thing is, what platforms is Destiny going to release for? Now, Bungie has said that Destiny will be for the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and future generation technology. So that definitely makes it sound like it'll be coming out for the next Xbox and the PlayStation 4. But in the Eurogamer article, they mentioned something from Bungie's COO, Pete Parson, talking about how they're planning to tell these stories for the next 10 years. So obviously they have to be ready for upcoming generations of consoles. So that makes it difficult to say whether the first Destiny title will go to the new consoles or not. They may only mean future titles. When asked about a PC version, the same COO answered, "We would absolutely love to be on PC. If you talk to the people upstairs, we play it on all platforms, so stay tuned." So that sounds like they're definitely open to a PC version, and in their contract with Activision from a few years back, they did have plans to release at least the second Destiny game on PC, but that is an old contract and things can change. So really we aren't sure yet, but hopefully it will be getting a PC launch. Now the last category, which is quite a big deal, has to do with the release date. So that same contract I just mentioned from a few years back also gave a launch window for the first Destiny game of fall 2013. So that's what everyone has been assuming, myself included. But in Activision's most recent financial report, it talks about how much money they expect to earn this year. But revenue from Destiny was not on that list. So that would suggest that it isn't going to release this year. Perhaps we would be getting an early 2014 release. Now if it is going to be released next year, that does kinda suck since we're gonna have to wait longer, but I would rather it gets pushed back a bit if it's not ready. That way they have time to get the game really polished and finished, rather than release it in a buggy or incomplete state. So we'll just have to wait and see. The release date's really up in the air at the moment. Also, one last thing somewhat related to the release of the game. Besides being sold on a disc, Destiny may be downloadable. When asked, Bungie's COO replied, "Stay tuned." Now most major games are available for digital download on Xbox Live, so this may not seem like much, but we never actually get downloadable games on launch day. They always have the standard launch on disc and then go to download many months later. So this is really just speculation, but it's possible that Destiny could release on digital download alongside the retail disc launch. Anyways, that's it for this update. Again, I'm really sorry for the delay on these. There's just a lot to cover and I wanted to make sure these videos were clear and well made. Stay tuned for parts 2 and 3 coming soon. There's still loads to cover, such as enemies, vehicles, classes, and more. Part 2 should be coming within a day or so, and Part 3 shortly after. I did put a lot of work into this video, so if you enjoyed it or found it helpful, I would really appreciate if you could give it a like. It would mean a lot to me. And of course, be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the latest Destiny news. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next update.